It'd be good to know.
Ali joined our batch program. In 5.5 weeks, he just cleared PMP. So one of the most interesting thing that we were discussing just a minute back. So now, when we had our first discussion, Ali said, "Sir, is it real that I heard that people clear PMP in 6 months or 1 year? And is it real that people clear PMP in 5 weeks, 4 weeks?" So Ali, tell me, is it real?
It is, and I'm a very interesting thing. I was actually cleaning up my PMP books and all the notes and everything, and in fact, I'll show this to you. I found this printout, right?
Put it
Something
back.
that I
It is
took.
a little bit. I cannot see it. Maybe put it in front
It's
of your face. You have that camera or something. Yeah, I cannot see.
uh,
I don't know.
let me actually take away that.
Yeah,
Okay, now
yeah, I can see.
so this
PMP.
this printout is basically from 2021.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Right? So this is, and I actually recalled, this is when I actually first started thinking about doing PMP. So 3 years ago,
okay.
and I tried to register, but I did not, and everything, and all those flashbacks were actually coming back to me, and I was like, okay, without this whole uh, I would say this whole exercise, right? This whole effort, which involved a lot of things, starting from the trainings, the mocks, and the guidance and everything. Without this, probably I would have always hesitated to even
Hmm,
appear for the exam.
hmm, hmm. Okay, okay. That is an interesting thing to look into that way. That you hesitated looking into the exam. Okay, let's talk about a little bit more on this thing. Why was that so? Why you were hesitating in the preparation? Like, what was the thing?
Yeah, because the first thing that I picked up, let's say 3 years ago, and in fact I still have that book somewhere. It was PM Bach. I
Hmm,
started reading through it, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just not my thing. This was one, and the other one was, my job role actually that changed. So the interest was gone, and then because I hesitated too much, right, and
hmm.
finally that interest was gone. And only I think back in June when I contacted you, when actually, and I'm thankful to Rao for directing me towards you, that
Right.
I said, okay, this is something doable.
Hmm. Okay, this is something. This is not something only doable. This is something doable in this much time. And in that time, also I remember, if I am right, you also got sick in these
Yes,
six
yes,
weeks.
correct.
You also got sick. So if I put that time away, we are PMP. Now, this is a very interesting thing that like you joined two other team members, one of your brother, he's working with you, one your brother joined, and one, what is your relationship with that guy? Uh,
He's my brother-in-law, friend
brother,
and brother-in-law.
brother-in-law. He was
Yeah.
actually leading you. If you look at that tracker,
Yes.
if you look at the tracker, like now this is the most interesting thing I say. The most important part of any journey is consistency. It's not at the start, because at the start he was leading. Even before the class, he was done with the videos. He will be PMP probably in the month of August. I'm sure you are gonna push him, but he was leading it. But you did it before him. So that's
True.
always
True.
something interesting to understand when the people do this way. Okay, Ali, we'll come back to other things. Let's jump to the exam. So, how was the last 1 week for you? The last
Well,
1 week.
okay, I'll be very honest and upfront on that. Last 2 weeks, I mean, since I started 180 mock, and I used to come back from office around 7:30, 7:30. This is the normal time. I
Okay.
would have dinner, I would pray, and then maybe 9:30, I would start that 180 mock. It would
Okay.
take me to I think somewhere around 1. I would finish the mock, and then I would do the RCA right away, because if you delay the RCA, it practically takes like 2.5 to 3 hours complete. But doing
Hmm.
RCA there and then, it's way easier. It was hectic. It was really hectic last 2 weeks.
Last few active. It has to be active. There is no other
Yep.
way. To be very true, it has to be active. There is no other way. If you think that okay, this can be done without being hectic. It is not possible. Man, you are sitting for 4 hours doing 180 question answer, and 180 question has to be hectic. There is no,
Correct.
like we have today, after just your recording, you know that we have that 180 question answer session, that we new coaching call we started this 5 6 hour, when we divide the people and with many ground rules, which many of my students didn't like it, because we never had such ground rules that if you join late, you are not going to be allowed in the class. So this is a very interesting part, that you have to sit there and have to be interactive. So what do you think, like how much 180 doing 180 is important for the PMP exam?
Well, I think it's really important.
Mm,
Why? Because see, it's not just the knowledge thing.
mm,
During the exam, it was the knowledge plus your stamina and the practice to do those 180 questions. And honestly, during the mocks, I was getting done in maybe 3 hours, 15 minutes, 3 hour, 20 minutes.
mm,
But that actual exam, I was left with 8 minutes, right? I followed that 80, 75, 75 principle. I was left with only 8 minutes. And, and there was a point when I started the exam, it was like, I've attempted so many questions, but I'm still at 21. I'm still at 17 or still at 27. So you actually that closed environment, you tend to get bored. So unless you are ready for it,
mm.
stamina wise, it might get tough.
It might get tough. It might get tough, and this is a very interesting thing to look into the context. This is a very interesting thing to look into the context, how we performed into that way. What are the ways to look into that? Because you need to get into that flow. You need to prepare for 180 question to get prepared for 180 question. There is no other way. For 180 question answers, you need that practice, you need that stamina to sit there, to look into that, otherwise you will get a problem. There is no doubt into that. Okay, let's go into the exam. How did you manage the time? 80 75 75?
80, 75, 75. So yeah, it was exactly 80, 75, 75 because, when it was the 80th minute, so I was left with the 150 minutes and I was doing the 60th question of the first section. And that's when I, ended and took a break.
Okay. So this is a very important thing to look into, that how we worked into that way. That time management is the key to work into that way. Which area of the exam was most dominant in your preparation?
It was agile. It was most of it was agile. I would say 60, 65% was agile.
Okay.
Uh, roughly 10% was related to stakeholders.
Okay.
Part of it was team. Roughly 10% was related to risk.
Hmm. 10% was related to risk. So stakeholder communication, team, agile, and risk. So this
Correct.
is still the PMP. This is still the
Correct.
PMP. This is still the, how many drags and drop questions?
I think two or three in the first section, two in the second, so roughly four or five.
4 or 5 drag and drop questions. So that was what we expected, that we will have almost these many drag and drop questions. So that was kind of expected. Okay, these many drag and
Correct.
drop questions will be there. Yeah, and we will be solving in next week in our coaching calls, so that those people, especially batch 7 who just joined, they understand what is drag and drop questions, how to work into that way. For everybody who is batch 7, this is batch 6 guy. Today, 2 students clear from batch 6, and that is 4.5 or 5 week. So if they can put the hard work, right, there is no reason in the world why you cannot do it. Okay. So how important it is for everybody to do the root cause analysis?
I think it's extremely important, and I'll tell you why. Because maybe 3 weeks ago, I would not have understood this myself. But I'll repeat this for let's say people from batch 6 and batch 7. So there are a lot of things. I read through the book. I read through the PMP summary booklet. I attended all your lectures. I've gone through the PMP mastery series. I've taken notes for everything, literally everything. But the RCA, it's extremely important. I think the knowledge from the book, the lecture, and everything, if that sums up something like 65%,
Hmm.
right? I would say at least 30, 35% is coming from RCS. So unless you're doing the RCS properly, uh, you're practically wasting. You're wasting your time.
Hmm. Hmm. So RCA is the most important thing. RCA can be the heart and soul of PM. Uh, a very interesting incident happened. He asked me PMP book. When did you ask me? Like 2 days back. 2 days
Yes.
back, he asked me, "Can I get the pathway to PMP?" And what was my answer?
You said you'll get this as a souvenir. Focus on PMP.
So this is a very important thing when people, some of you get the some of you who want to read the book, I send them the book and they put it on social media. People also want that. So I always say that if you want to read it, you can have it. This all comes down to this thing, like everybody learn at their own way. The most important thing, right, I want to communicate here is that uh, you don't have to read any book. Even my book, he did not read any book, right? He did not read any book whatsoever, and he is certified PMP in less than 5 weeks. But for those people who loves to read book, for those people who want to go into depth of the book, yes, they should. It depends how everyone is minded, right? For example, just to yesterday, I started like 2 books. I normally read simultaneously 2, 3 books I'm reading. Otherwise, I get bored. So yesterday, I completed 2 of my books, and I'm just gonna start this book during the coaching call. I read books, to be very true. I read a lot of books. I'm a book reader, but not everyone is. Right? Not everyone is. My wife did PMP, PGMP, ACP. I am 100% sure she has not even read one page of Pathway as of now. Still, even I asked her to review when I was writing, but she did not, right? So it all comes down to understand what is your learning style. Everyone's individual is, then that is called customization. Okay, apart from root cause analysis, how important it is for people to join the coaching call live or maybe watch the recording, why it is important.
Yeah, I think one of the things like you mentioned, Asad is actually ahead of me, and I was motivated by that. I was like, okay, why am I lagging behind? This was one, and the second thing that sort of put me on track was the first 10 PMP questions that we did, and then the next one I was you start getting a flavor of it that okay, you're learning something new, and then it was the 100 questions, and then it was the 180 that we were solved and everything. So I think it's extremely important because you're getting the feedback firsthand. Although you have the group and everything, but end of the day, you are actually having that discussion
Hmm.
after the attempting the mock to understand what exactly is the right answer. Why is it the right answer?
Hmm. Why it is the right now, why it is the right answer is the holy grail of PMP. Why it is the why it is the right answer? That's a very important question. Okay, why it's not the right answer? Why it is the right answer? So it's a very important thing. Okay.
True.
Uh,
And one more thing I'd like to add, Amir, during the exam, when I was facing certain very tough questions,
hmm,
what I actually told myself was that I've solved 2,500 to 3,000 questions in
hmm,
various mocks, right,
hmm,
in various settings.
hmm.
If I can do that, I can do this as well. So this sort of encourages you, motivates you.
Yeah, but don't say that much number. People will run away. And they listen
Okay,
to
sorry.
it. That is one of the most important criteria of Kanban system. I don't give them the entire thing in one go, right? They go step by step, and they realize later on, just like you realize later on, how many
Yes.
really questions you did. Now, this is a very important thing. People ask me, give us the entire roadmap. Like it is the standard practice. You go, you get the entire roadmap. I don't believe it. If I tell you how many questions I'm gonna make you to do it, you are not, you will try to run away, right? You will try to,
You
yeah, run away. No, I don't want to do that many questions. So I want to make sure
know,
that we are on the right track and we are working into that way.
And,
Okay,
I mean, I actually called. I think I called Rao a week ago. I was
okay.
like,
But
Rao,
also you
I
called him last
completed.
night. Also you called him last night.
Yes, yes. And I was having interactions with him on let's say weekly basis after every couple of. I was like, I completed 6 mocks. Amir gave me another 6. I mean, how many questions? He said, okay, continue doing this. Continue doing this. This is practice. Do RCA. So as a student, right, 3 weeks ago, I was not able to understand what's the benefit of it. But yes, today I do understand.
Yeah, today you understand, and this is a very important thing. You don't trust. even if your student, if your friends have done it, even if your close friends have done it, you don't trust me unless you clear it yourself. This is a
Exactly.
very strange thing. I have more than 1700 success story in last 3 years, success stories that I posted, right? uh, and like all those things, but every single student, even your brother, like you have a younger brother there, he will
Yeah.
trust me when he will clear PM. But this is a human nature, right?
True.
This is a human nature that we only trust when we get that pattern thing, that what we were looking for, right?
True.
This is the beauty of the life, and it is what it is. So I
True.
understand, I understand, and that is why I cannot tell you how many mocks I will give it to you. I had a student yesterday. She no, though 2 days before she cleared PMP, Sweta. So I made her do like almost 18 180 mocks.
Oh
The
wow.
problem, the problem, she was very good. The problem was she was getting right like 80% in 60 question. But as soon as she jumps to 180 question, her score went down to 60. So that was a very interesting scenario. And she was living alone. It's not like they're a child and disturbing. So that was very interesting scenario. So that's what we call I need to understand you to work in. Then the question Amir is right, don't tell. Avas, you need to complete the question. You haven't reached that level na, that you can say that thing. Okay, guys, if you have any question, please feel free to ask him. Then we will take it from there. If anyone has any question, please feel free to ask him. This guy just cleared PMP today, and he was kind enough to join us today. And I wanted to make sure that, yeah, he's there for us. Okay. Gee, anyone has any question that they would like to ask? 80, 75, 75. That was the first thing. Two dragon row.
Four, five roughly.
Five drag and drop were there, and then he did 180 questions. Told him what to go. Then stakeholder communication team, agile, risk, they were the most important thing. We have to do the RCA 180 mocks as well. It depends on your score. It depends for every single student. Like there are some people in batch 7 doing people mock. Like one of the batch 7 got 91% in first people mock. Why would I have to do the RCA? So it's kind of the standard. If you get 80% above, don't do the RCA. But there will be some mocks that you need to do RCA. Juice Mansab, go ahead.
First of all, congratulations for the achievement, Ali Cleared bhai. The question I would like to ask, how many questions you got in exam for which you have to choose two options?
I think between 5 to 10. I don't remember the exact. Between 5 to 10, maybe
Okay,
around five, 6, 7, something like this.
that's all I want to ask. Thank you.
Gee, anyone else want to ask anything? Please feel free to go ahead. Okay. Uh, Okay, Ali, thank you very much. Send me your picture. I'll make a
I'll do
thumbnail
that.
of it. Make 10 question. I will be needing it soon.
I'll do
Which is
that.
the most topic asked in the exam? Stakeholder communication team age. Ali already answered it. With that, thank you. Thank you very much, Ali, and I wish you best of luck.
Thank you, Amir.
So, guys, this is the mantra here. Each one teach one, which Ali promised to follow it, and everyone should do that.